That's it, everybody. You know what time it is. It is separated at birth in the usual time slot with your boys, the full measure, and Roman wins. Super excited to be back with you guys. We did an offline show last week, but no more of that fuckery. We're back in the seats, ready to talk about stuff, and I'm just super excited to see my boy. We didn't get to speak a lot over the weekend, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, spend a little time with the missus. We both, everybody be appropriate, okay? We both gave each other facials in the exfoliating manner, okay? I am looking 10 years younger. I'm feeling fabulous. My skin is taut, and I'm loving life. I missed you this weekend. How are you, my partner in crime?
I'm 100%, man. Great time to be a gamer. My God, so many cool things happening in terms of games. So many cool games out right now, and more to join us in this week, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later in the episode. But yeah, man, fucking just climbing through the games, dude. Having a good time. Still plugging away at Lost Ark, of course. I know you are as well. Been doing some Horizon Forbidden West. Of course, Destiny drops tomorrow, which is ridiculous.
I need that so bad,
dude. And then Elden Ring, man. I actually don't even want to talk about Elden Ring anymore, because it's just I don't think anticipation levels can peak any more than they already have. I'm scared I'm gonna burst. And of course, there was a story overview trailer that was revealed yesterday, which I'm not even gonna watch, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go.
Did you see the tweet that they put out right when they revealed the story trailer?
No,
I didn't. They like put out a tweet. Generally, the gist of it was some people have earlier copies of the games out now in the wild, and we dropped this story trailer. Please don't ruin the experience of people who want to walk through the forbidden lands with clouds in their eyes or something. It was much more poetic than I can do. But
I think you did a pretty decent job.
Oh well. Yeah, it's a great time to be a gamer, as you said. My favorite fighting game franchise came out. I've been putting so many hours into that. I rose the ranks really quickly, had some great play, and then I entered into an online tournament over the weekend and won my preliminaries, was feeling great. Then I proceeded to get my head smashed in. Your boy is not what he used to be. And
fighting games, the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows, aren't they?
Oh, I hit the lowest of the lows. I got my my PP slapped by some 12-year-olds that called me a fucking boomer. And yeah, so now, no, not really, but that's how I felt.
Okay,
and,
okay. They called it to you with their minds, like you could sense it. You could sense it. Yeah. But I mean, this is something that a game that you enjoy with your eldest as well, your son, right? He's a pretty good King of Fighters
really
player
good
as well. Okay,
he's really good.
Shout outs to him, because I mean, I believe he was helping you, giving you a little bit of coaching and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, when he was coaching me through the tournament, I learned something. I apparently must have been an aggressive teacher with him, because he was a very aggressive teacher with me, and he slated me viciously and told me how horrible I am, and I felt this big. So I can't wait for Destiny tomorrow, because I need to feel good about myself and kill some monsters.
Well, before we climb off the whole fighting games thing, thoughts on the Street Fighter 6?
Oh my God. I thought you never ask. Oh man, they're using the RE engine for the newly announced Street Fighter 6, starring Luke, a new character that they introduced at the end of the last season of Street Fighter 5, and they showed bearded, bare-chested Ryu. So if anybody has any kind of love for Street Fighter historically, please, I encourage you to look at the trailer for Street Fighter 6. It's only 30 seconds, but it is phenomenal looking. And with that, they also announced the Street Fighter 35th anniversary release. And in that, they have games that...
Holy shit.
Yeah, 35
Dude,
years. We're old.
Bro.
But they ported some games in there that they've never ported before. And there's a rare gem in there, a game called Red Earth, that has never been ported. And I actually own the arcade version of it in my basement. And that was the thing I was so shocked to see.
That's
like,
crazy.
What the hell? Red Earth. But yeah, the 35th anniversary. Now, typically when they do these anniversary games, they kind of suck. But there are two games in there that have never been done. There is rollback netcode, which means good net play of Pocket Fighter, which was like all the little cartoony Street Fighter characters, and Red Earth. So like people who haven't been able to play these games for 35 years are gonna get to see it for the first time.
Dude, there's probably some fucking dude sitting in a basement, someone going like, Red Earth, yeah, bro, they finally giving it the love, son. Like, it's gotta be. Is that you? Have you got like the Red Earth t-shirt as well?
I do. I love it.
That's
excited.
awesome. No, but I had the suspicion they had kind of like a run up to it where they started sort of the foretelling trailers and things like that, but not just saying like Capcom's got a reveal. And people were speculating, is it another Resident Evil? Is it this? Is it that? But I mean, it was Street Fighter's time. It was too soon for another Resident Evil. I was hoping for like a revitalization of maybe some of Capcom's older roster.
That's what you get for raising them on bark for toilet paper.
I'm rich, biatch!
What happened?
No, so I don't know. You're of course watching the stream on the back, so we just got like a lovely donation there. That's what you get for raising them on bark for toilet paper. So this, of course, guys, this
What?
I will tell the story. I will tell the story because it's better if I tell it. Because I heard it as a third party. It was not something that I partook in. It's a lovely anecdote about Roman that came out one night while he was on stream with one of his lifelong buddies. And I actually only caught it the next day when I watched the stream. And it's essentially, I mean, it alludes to, I'm not gonna do the whole fucking thing, but it's hilarious because basically it alludes to the fact that Roman feels that, you know, you must very much be raised by wolves, and that means wiping your ass with like fucking one ply, you know, razor wire, essentially.
It's essential.
And so he was getting
feel burning friction to know that I properly cleaned my ass.
You're gonna feel your fucking hand if you fucking press too hard. That's the point. So I never actually spoke to you about this, but I thought it was fucking hilarious because it is a thing that was like a big thing for us when we moved to Denmark here, because in South Africa it's quite common, like rich people have 2-ply, right? That's like when you're in someone's house and like 2-ply, god damn, he put some rich motherfuckers up in here. Like you're like, I must be in the rich neighborhood now, you know. And then 1-ply, where you basically sexually assault yourself when you wipe your ass. That's like the, you know, the standard. So, and I mean, you know, as a real man, all you do is you just double wad it, right? Then you have 2-ply, right? You just put 2 fucking 1-plies on top of each other. But
no.
But I know in your house, like you give like an allotment. Okay, you get 4 sheets for the day. That's it. That's all you get.
I got a lot of females in this house, and they make these boxing gloves, and I'm constantly at the shops getting more paper. Okay.
I mean, with the size family that you have, the 12-pack toilet roll doesn't work, right?
It doesn't work. It's gone in an afternoon.
You need the 36 or some shit, right?
I gotta go hard.
So then when we moved to Denmark here, the standard, like the poor folk, the street people, they use 3-ply.
Oh my god.
And here, right around the corner from us, like what they sell is 4-ply, dog. And that is like wiping your ass with silk.
Oh my god. No. Because that bites you in the butt. Because then it's so soft, so supple, you're gonna get a surprise finger in the ass because your hand's gonna go through it because you're used to the rough shit, all right?
Yeah, but that's why you should never get used to the rough shit. That's the point, though. You've raised these children to, like, I mean, the culmination of the story was essentially that Roman borrowed 1 bog roll from his buddy, and his kids are like, God damn, we've been living like pigs our whole lives. Like, look at this beautiful, supple roll of paper that we could fucking wipe our derrieres with, and you got us using this, you know, like grade 5 sanding paper on our ass our entire lives. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Hilarious.
These are the life lessons that I try to teach my children about how to live rough in the streets, okay? And this 1 bog roll ruined our relationship.
I can tell you one thing, though. Your lesson falls flat, because if kids live life on the streets, wiping their ass with a fucking old newspaper is better than 1-ply toilet paper, is all I'm saying. So already there, the lesson fails, like, you know, horribly.
Well, listen, this is the Separated at Birth podcast. you can derail the show just like Fenrir did. And we much appreciate your patronage. You can support the channel and derail the show by using the Streamlabs link in the description of this video. Or you can email the show at weareseparated@birth@gmail.com to suggest a topic for the week. We will go through all the topics that are submitted and we will choose the best ones at no cost to you. We'll read them on air and we will discuss. So thank you for the support, Fenrir. Thank you for derailing the show. And if anybody else wants to derail the show just like this, have a great conversation about a surprise finger in the ass, you could do that by clicking the stream support button in the description of the video.
Tons more dirt I can deliver. Okay, but speaking of dirt, and because I want our show to have a natural cadence of, like, start angry and end happy, beautiful, or start beautiful and end like fucking cussing out the world, right? So speaking of dirt, I just gotta get some shit off my chest, and that's kind of like me continuing on in my crusade against what the fuck is going on with Lost Ark. And so let me explain what I mean by that. So actually, to start the whole topic off, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna dump us over to this little screen over here, and I'm gonna just reveal the patch notes, which was this is an ongoing discussion that's basically happening. Ooh, that's not the right thing. Ooh,
live show, folks.
Oh yeah, guys, the editing is top notch. Okay, so what you're seeing here right now, right, is this is the latest, the top current issues. This was posted on February 20th on the forums of the game, right? And so this is a collection of basically the burning issues that the game has right now. Hot topic, so to speak. So I'm not going to read this whole thing to you, but it is I'm going to tell you what it means as in a nutshell, but basically it focuses on some certain key areas. So firstly, the Europe queue situation, which we as European players are experiencing with Lost Ark, and this is a good thing in the show because you guys are basically going to hear the opinion from someone that is primarily an NA player, and you're going to hear someone that's primarily an EU player. And so this very same game is a drastically different experience depending on which one of the two of us you ask. And so the European queues are a big issue, and more specifically, this is probably due to the fact that, like, if you look on the NA side, it launched in two regions for America. There's an NA East and an NA West, and then Europe launched in basically what they just called Europe, and has now since begun being called Central Europe. And they've, in the meanwhile, also brought up is it West? It's Europe West,
I think
right?
West Europe,
yeah.
Yep.
I don't even fucking know because I have no interest in going there. But so there's two regions for this now as well. And the point is, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people to jump off the servers that they're already on in Europe and to lessen some of these queues. The situation is so fucking dire right now that if you were to leave this podcast right now and stop listening to the two of us, go fucking open up Lost Ark and try to get into any of the EU servers, what's going to happen is your client will actually fucking crash before you can even log in, before you can even queue. Huge problem. So basically what they're saying here is they're continually starting to look and see what they can do, but they've basically reached the threshold now. This first part here is extremely telling. It says adding more servers is not possible based on the complexity of all the systems that need to work together. They've increased it to the maximum amount that they can in Europe Central. That means no more capacity. They're not waiting to give us more capacity. It's at its fucking limit now, right? So the point is now they want people to jump off Central and they want them to go to West. And so they've done all kinds of things like now giving a second set of founders packs and all that stuff. But the bottom line is, I'll use myself as an example. I now already have 5 level 50s on the server that I'm playing on. And I've got a huge amount of, like money invested into the economy. I've got like 2.5 million silver. I've got like, 15,000 gold, blah, 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 blah. And there's no way you're going to get me to re-roll on another server. So what do you do with a guy like me? You do a server transfer. That brings us to the second point. We definitely
which is standard in every other MMO, and I don't do the Korean version have that? I don't know.
They have it, but it's a what you know in terms of how a server transfer. Let's use something like World of Warcraft, right, where you pay an amount, and then it used to be that it took like 24 hours, then it went down to taking 12 hours, and these days it's like fucking instantly, like you pay and it's good to go. Now, this uses some like 1984 fucking hamster on a wheel old ass shit in Korea, where basically what you do is they just rolled it out. They rolled it out like 6 weeks ago, right? And so what you do, and it's only Korea, Russia doesn't have it yet. It's a weekly batch process that needs maintenance to run. So it's not 24 hours, it's motherfucking 7 days. So if you do it on Thursday night when the weekly refresh happens, you'll only get your character on the new server 7 days later. It takes a maintenance period.
A maintenance cycle. Yeah.
Correct. And the thing is, it does not support cross-region functionality. So you could transfer to another server within your region, but you can't go from central to west, for instance. So that doesn't solve anybody's problem. So yeah, they say, unfortunately, it's not a viable option. Then to finish off this conversation, and I don't want to take much more time than this, but the point is, the last ditch option then is to tell your whales, your players that have been playing the entire time, that have like me, I have 550s. Okay, bro, we'll give you 5 power passes. Take all your shit. Like you won't have your silver and everything, but you can spin that up again. That's okay. But you get your 550s, your knowledge transfers that you've used, your power passes that you've used, everything that's there. No, we've also heard they ask for power pass grants, blah, blah, blah. A power pass can only be implemented on a roster that already has a level 50 and will not work on the first character on a roster. What they're saying is it's impossible for them to give you a 50 without you having a 50 on the server.
That's ridiculous. Any character is just a line of lines of code. I mean, you could copy those lines of code and move them over.
So it's almost like these guys have made this game, but like they don't know how to code it.
Yeah. And all of these issues, all of these things that they're running into are standard practice in any large MMO. And this is not a new game. It's approaching 4 years old. And these are not new problems. They could have been anticipating this. They even had that extended beta period where they had a massive influx of pre-orders and everything like that. They should have gauged the interest.
The game also had like 2 alphas.
It had 2 alphas, yeah.
So the thing is, and guys, I again, there's some more in that article, but I'm not, go check it out, especially if you're a Lost Ark player and you want to basically see just, kind of like how shafty this whole thing is. But the baseline is here that and it's something that you alluded to, I think 2 podcasts ago. It might have even been last week. And that's the thing, that these guys, they're banking on, like, we just gotta hold it fucking down, and like a month from now 30% of people will leave, and then we'll be okay. The complaints will start dying down. The servers, we won't have these massive queue issues anymore. Matchmaking will work a little bit better, because I haven't even touched on that. Like, it's not only just getting into the game, it's actually being in the game and then struggling with, matchmaking as well. But that's a story for another day. The point is, I think they're just playing the long game here. Because if you look at some of the top streamers, people like this guy's Toast, Asmongold, guys who are generally your MMO, fucking mules, right? These guys are saying, like, great game, it's catching me a lot right now, but it's incredibly grindy, and the progression system is basically a progression system baked into another progression system baked into another progression system. But with the crystals, and then it's RNG and it can fail, and then you have to like redo it, and there's like this gating thing. Like, if you go from tier 2 to tier 3, the only way for you to go up is to get a full set of armor from Chaos Dungeons, and if you just miss one of those pieces, you're screwed until the next day. And the next day you do your 2 Chaos Dungeons, and again you're looking for boots, you just can't get boots. Guess what, motherfucker? Day 3. This kind of stuff scares these people away, because guys that want to grind away at a game want to know that if they spend 24 hours playing a game, they can get ahead of someone else. But Lost Ark is weird because it wants you to grind, but it has natural gating in it, which stops you. Like, it wants you to grind, but only up to the point where they think it's enough now.
It doesn't want you to grind.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
It wants you to use its currency exchange system.
Yeah.
And part of that currency exchange system is
a fatigue mode, basically, that's built into the game, which you
and
can
pay to
buy,
progress.
which you can pay to take the fatigue away, 100%. But
it's a mobile game in an MMO.
Yeah, it's a gacha. It's a gacha game like built as an MMO, and it's an incredibly. Guys, I want to almost end off my part in this complaint and everything that I've said now, saying that the fucking only reason I'm so passionate about this, the only reason I'm carrying on about this, and I'm not telling you guys some other fucking stories, because I like this game so much, because I think about playing it all the time, and because there's stuff in the game that I still want to do. So I don't want it to fail. I don't want them to bank on 40% of the people leaving in a month, because in 3 months' time, another 40% leave, and then what? Then you're just stuck with, like, you know, a bunch of me's that have rolled multiple alts and like feel like, okay, I've spent too much time on the game now. I've put 500 hours in, so Jesus, I have to play this. And, you know, all the new people have left. And then the economies in the game die. You can't do matchmaking. You know, there's no low tier content. I don't know. It's just, it kind of feels to me that even though this is an MMO that's supposed to last for a very long time, they're just really thinking about it very short term.
Yeah, the legs are waning for me. I can only obtain loot on one character in an abyssal dungeon once a week. That hurts, because that, to me, that's the funnest content. It's actually like a dungeon that has mechanics and it requires communication. Chaos dungeons to me are kind of like, I just hold whatever, I just mash out AoE buttons and then it's over. You know, there are parts of it that are kind of like the legs are leaving for me. And so I worry about this type of thing, because I do want to get a dedicated group of 5 and be able to do hard content. But with all the matchmaking issues and with all the people in and out based on queue sizes and things like that,
and we're all spread over the world, right? We're all split
all over the world. Yeah. So it's a little frustrating. PvP has been a dream for me. I love it. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I grind it. The PvP has been so fun to me with the way that they do the books and the skill allocations and the points that, like, you don't necessarily have to grind for gear for PvP.
Yeah, it's a level playing field.
It's a level playing field that just it actually hampers my item level grinding, because I get so wrapped up in just battlegrounds and I'm playing PvP all day. So the game has so much going for it, but the thing that hurts me is they ask for a 20-hour dedication minimally of you to level a character from 1 to 50, and they won't let you advance alts. So you would to make that bearable, you have to have a captivating narrative, and that is nowhere to be found. It has been it's so dry and such a struggle. I shudder to think of having to do it again to make my requisite additional alts to be able to grind the right way.
Look,
so
I did it almost 3 times in like a week and a half, and it's painful. It definitely is. It definitely is. It's the game is like 80% moving, 10% pressing G through stuff, and 10% watching cutscenes you can't play. You can't skip. That's the game.
And what I don't like is, even if I'm an alt and I go through it, it still says cannot skip first time through, and I'm like, what? Yes. I've been through this before. Let me skip this, you know? Did you know that
that's also bound to, and that's maybe what you're remembering now, but that's bound to your roster. So if you switch rosters, then it resets all of that. And so you're again stuck in the not being able to skip. And I mean, I know you've basically played on like 3 different servers, as have I. So we've been double or triple dipping in this fucking pain. And
I still can't tell you what the story is.
Dude, I know that like at the beginning you meet that dude and he's like your boyfriend, and then later on you meet another guy that's his boyfriend, and I'm like, it's like a weird fucking triangle. I don't know what's going on, and every once in a while you have to like help him because he's getting, you know, I don't know, ambushed by a bunch. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, they're very Catholic. There's a lot of boy on boy action with these priests, but it's interesting. But you know,
I mean,
while we
can I ask you this, right? Taking a pivot from this is an MMO and looking at what's happening on Final Fantasy right now, and perhaps you can just explain that a little bit more, because I know that you have the hubbub on that, and I haven't caught up so much, but everything I'm hearing sounds fucking delicious, by the way.
No, I love it, because it's literally counteracting everything that I'm having problems with Lost Ark, because Final Fantasy, they decided, okay, how can we differentiate ourselves as an MMO, right? We have these big raids, we have these mechanics, we have these large teams, we have all this, requirements, right? But what if we put in a compelling Final Fantasy level story in there? And they have an actual story that if you as a player do not want to try and find a dedicated raiding party, do not want to find a guild, you can actually just jump in and play a compelling Final Fantasy story and enjoy it.
Completely solo.
Completely solo.
Fuck me.
And they have just announced that they are going to add easier solo play, and they're doing an overhaul to the engine. They're going to add high-res shaders and everything to upscale the graphics completely for a new generation of players, and they have dedicated 10 years of additional support to Final Fantasy 14 starting in patch 6.1, which is set for release in April. So this will allow people to come in and just experience a compelling story. And if you love the mechanics, if you love the, as they call it, accessible solo experience, you can get hundreds of hours of that between all of the expansions that have come out.
Basically.
Yes, and then if you want to live in this world longer, you can play the MMO content at the end. I just think it's brilliant. I think it's a beautiful redemption story, and I think it's very compelling. As someone who played the original launch of Final Fantasy XIV, as well as the relaunch of Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, all the way up until the Dragoon tale, where they added some new races, I thoroughly loved the game. It's just where I was in my life. I couldn't dedicate, scheduled raid hours, so I had to fall away from the game. But man, it's such a great game, and to hear that they're adding that single player support. Yeah. For me, someone who already loves the game and has a lot of content in it, that would get me instantly to just say, hey, I can spend 2 weeks just playing solo and like enjoy the content, enjoy the mechanics, and then I can put the game down. I just think that's awesome, and I'm super excited for it. And that kind of dovetails because I thought Final Fantasy XIV was a great redemption story, and I got wrapped up into what are great redemption stories. And I was like, redemption stories are not just in like a developer with this. Redemption stories go into video games, go into movies. You got Boromir in Lord of the Rings. You got the Red Hood. You got Mordin from Mass Effect. There's all of these great redemption stories. And I was curious. I have my favorite redemption story. I was wondering what your favorite redemption story was, and I know that I'm kind of dropping this on you, so I'll go into mine, and then I'll ask you yours.
Luckily, I have this shit on ready to fire, baby. So it's all good.
Well, this is separated at birth, so we go on this journey and we get to know one another. I have to let you in on something. I'm a bit of a weeb, okay? I'm a bit of an anime big titty hentai connoisseur. Okay. I have all of these Marvel and DC figures here, but the most I have are Dragon Ball figures. And to me, the ultimate redemption story is one of Prince Vegeta the Fourth, son of Vegeta from the planet Vegeta, the prince of the Saiyan warrior race, and him finding a rich white woman to take care of his hobo ass and raise 2 children while he leaves for years at a time to go hang out with his buddy and train and never have to worry about a thing. Vegeta is the ultimate redemption story to me. He is my favorite character in all of anime, and I love him dearly. And yeah, he has a massive tail that turns him into a giant ape. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any experience with Vegeta?
I keep thinking you're gonna say something else, but well,
that's what I'm supposed to do. Keep you on your toes, baby.
So, dude, I don't even know if I want to say this. I only ever watched 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, you're a terrible human.
And I didn't like it. I thought it was. Maybe I watched the wrong 2 episodes because this is like 50 million fucking episodes or something. But 196. It's like, how many?
196 on Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, that's not that. I thought it was way more. I thought this was some Naruto shit with like 500,000 fucking episodes.
Nah. I mean, then you have the original Dragon Ball, and then you have Dragon Ball Super, and then you have the 13 movies, and yeah, I could go on it, but we'll go.
No, So I mean, I get that you're passionate about it, and I can see the passion, but I can't tell you whether that was a good redemption arc or not, because I don't know enough about the series. So I will, in turn, give you my favorite redemption arc, which is, I think, much more relatable.
I hate you, Uncle Arthur.
and that's the fucking T-800, bro. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator 2. Best redemption arc ever.
Oh, I really thought you were gonna say Arthur Morgan. I love it. T-800's great, man.
No, I mean the Arthur Morgan would have been like an easy rip. I've got like a bunch of these. Like I like that. I mean the T-800 is a good one. Unforgiven is fantastic. You know, Clint Eastwood with fucking William Money. And his life and all that shit, and I mean that's like some dark, gritty. Like it's. I mean that role was written for Clint Eastwood, and he just pulled it off so much. Do you know a movie called? So first of all, I'm a huge Sam Rockwell fan. Huge.
Oh,
I fucking love him.
know you are.
Yeah. But I mean, okay. So do you know a movie called 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri?
Yes. Oh, that's so good.
He is this racist piece of shit in the movie. Such a I mean the only person that could have played that character to perfection is Sam Rockwell. All right,
and Goggins, but go on.
Sure, okay, fair. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. But he has such a great redemption arc in that movie. I watched it again recently. It's actually like a little bit of a favorite of mine. My wife hates the fact that I love the movie so much because it doesn't have a lot going on except. I mean,
that's a hard movie. It's like oof.
Yeah, it's not like a fun like hey let's have some beer and eat popcorn and watch fucking 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, you know. But it has like the movie's one of these weird things where it doesn't like you're like okay cool the movie's over now. You're like oh no wait it's a buddy comedy now and they're gonna go fuck some people up. It's like yeah it's really good. But yeah, redemption arcs are something special in movies, especially if it's a because I mean you get different kinds, I suppose. I mean in a way you can say, you know, Rocky also features a great fucking redemption arc, but you know like a person like struggling the whole time and then they get their comeuppance, you know. And but villainous turns, I mean Darth Vader, you know, so like those redemption arcs are always like super satisfying to watch. So I mean that's a fucking I need to go watch me some Dragon Ball Z then. That's what I'm saying, dude. I've legitimately wanted to do it my entire. I just figured like I'm too late now. I'm like 41.
You're the age demographic of Dragon Ball.
Oh, am I the target? Am I the target demographic?
Yeah. Dragon Ball is one of those things where you go into it and you know it's terrible. Yeah. And you have to accept that it's terrible, but it's like watching an 80s action flick where I'm just gonna ride it out. I'm just gonna ride it out, baby. And it's fantastic. I love it. Now, what was I gonna say? I had something. It doesn't matter. But
I mean, redemption arcs though. Peacemaker, right? That just wrapped.
Well, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, Peacemaker. You know, he went into it being a rank piece of shit, and by the end, he's telling Aquaman to go fuck fish while he's the hero. But spoilers, sorry. But oopsie poopsie. But redemption story is one of my favorite things because it's I love people, right? I love people. At the end of the day, that's why I do this. It's to connect with people from all over the world. That's why I put myself out there, because you get a little bit of people coming back at you. And a redemption arc, a redemption story is hope springing eternal. It's no matter how big of a piece of shit you are, you can affect someone or you can change your course by the end of the time the story's written. There's hope for all of us. So when I was thinking about Lost Ark and you were talking about it and the news of Final Fantasy 14 came out, I was just like, this is a studio that right now is losing all of its goodwill. Is there a redemption arc for this? What will they do? And then you read the notes that they put out and it's like, Jesus, man, they don't even give a shit about redemption. They're just like, we're barreling through this. And if you stick around, you stick around. If you don't, peace, goodbye.
I mean, it's also the world that we live in today, right? Where it feels like we've been living in this Lost Ark fuck up for like forever, but it's only been 10 days. So it's I'm not trying to give them a fucking excuse or a way out or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the way how things work now, because a lot of these complaints and these situations ends up feeling a little bit like an echo chamber or something like that. It's that like it feels there's definitely things they can do to fix this. There is a redemption arc. There's a redemption arc for fucking anyone. I believe there's always a road to redemption for anyone, whatever. But certainly that kind of response on the forums is not is not indicative of a studio that is interested in redeeming themselves. It's indicative of a studio that's going like, batten down the hatches, just make like you don't see these motherfuckers, and they'll go away. And then that's what that looks like.
Wait, so it's funny you said that, right? Because that's my philosophy to all rage, right? It's just batten down the hatches. This too shall pass, right? Yeah. It's how I feel about cancel culture. Don't apologize. Don't give in. Just shut your mouth and it'll blow over. If you show them
the soft underbelly, then it never stops. But if you ignore them, then they go away. Yeah, exactly.
But you said something key that kind of just fucked me up, and I think you're brilliant for it. I have obtained 5 max level characters, the pinnacle of the game, and I'm grinding the end game content, and I did it in under 10 days. So it's like, should I really be playing any one game this hard? Should I play it as it comes to me, do what I need to do, and still enjoy other things? Because I'm not locked into a subscription service that makes it the place I have to be to play. So yeah, you kind of just reinvigorated me a little bit. Maybe I just need to chill the fuck out. Go play some Destiny tomorrow. Build the clan. If you want to join the clan, let us know in our Discords, and we'll get you in. We'll play some Destiny together. And then move on and keep getting my head kicked in some King of Fighters, and get ready for Elden Ring.
Look, the thing is that I agree 100% categorically with everything that you said. The thing is that there's no reason for us to no life a game like Lost Ark right now. There's lots of other stuff to play, and the game aggressively does not want you to no life it. So by doing this, I've watched I don't know about you, but I partake in Reddit because I'm a fucking masochist. And so, I go on there to see, all the, the terrible things that people have to say about each other and the world and studios and people and movies and whatever. And I've watched in the last couple of days how the Lost Ark subreddit has slowly morphed from, oh my god, we can't log in, blah 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 blah, and that whole thing about that, to now, hey guys, I'm item level 1300, what the fuck should I do now? And so now people have now no lifed it, and I don't know what the exact percentage is, but let's imagine, for the sake of this argument, right, that, and it's probably not that high, but just to make my point, 10% of people playing Lost Ark right now have reached tier 3. It's definitely not that high. I peg it close to maybe 5. But just for the sake of the argument, let's say 10% have reached that. That means that at the moment right now, we in Europe and in America, the version of Lost Ark that we have has a very, very fucking limited portion of tier 3 content. We don't even have Argos yet, which drops in like 2 weeks' time. The point that I'm trying to make is that there's not a lot to do once people are racing like fucking maniacs to get to tier 3 because you can. But the point is, once you get to tier 3, it's like, there's nothing to do. There's literally nothing to do. And so then what the game wants you to do is level up your life skills and, get some Makoko seeds and stuff. And the point is, 99% of people
watch new episodes of Fridge.
Yes, exactly. 99% of people did not show up to go look for the Makoko seeds. So it's a weird, the game is almost like a fucking contradiction of itself. It's very strange. But I definitely think there's truth to what you said. There's no reason to punish yourself with this game right now. If at any moment it feels like, you're putting in too much time, there's not something to do, you don't want to sit in queues or anything like that, go the fuck away from it and come back later, because it will be in a better state. It has to be in a better state. And in the meanwhile, play games like Horizon Forbidden West, which just recently dropped, which is phenomenal. Now officially the second highest selling PS5, and I know there hasn't been a lot of PS5 games, but it's the second highest selling PS5 game, just behind Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's probably going to overtake it as more people, get access to PS5s. But it's an amazing fucking game. We have Elden Ring coming out this Friday. We have Destiny 2 Witch Queen dropping tomorrow. So there's a lot of good stuff that can be played right now.
So one of my favorite things to do is look at the UK sales charts, because they do publish the UK sales charts while other countries don't publish their sales charts, especially in America. That's not a thing that's always done. Proprietary holders like to hold on to their numbers. Microsoft is notorious for that because they don't want to show when they're getting outsold. They kind of try to keep positive advertising out there. But I always go into the UK sales charts and then extrapolate from there and then multiply out, and you can get it's very reliable in getting a list of what is moving units right now. And for the week of ending February 19th, 2022, the number one game is Horizon Forbidden West, followed by Pokemon, then Dying Light 2, then Mario Kart 8, and then all the way down is FIFA 22. I've never seen FIFA that low on the list. Like,
dude,
that's
people
huge.
are getting fucking long in the tooth for that shit, bro.
Yeah, then Animal Crossing, then Call of Duty Vanguard actually went up. Minecraft is always on the top 10.
Season 2, that's why. It'll drop right down again.
Mario Party Superstars, and then at number 10 is Just Dance 2022. People love that Just Dance series. But Horizon vaulting to number 1 in a week is massively indicative.
Less than a week. It's literally like 5 days.
Massively indicative of how many people are just diving into this game. I think it was my bold prediction that it was going to be the massive hit of the year. I still hold to that, or of February, I'm sorry. Yeah. I still hold to that. I think it will end up selling more units than Elden Ring. I know a certain somebody who has been playing Horizon Forbidden West. So I know this, you probably have a video of this coming out, but I want to be enraptured by your dulcet tones and get your impressions, a mild review of your experience and what the game has been like.
Okay, so I'm sitting on, I plowed a ridiculous amount of hours into the game over the weekend. I'm sitting on something like almost 30 hours played, and that's including the 9 that I played on stream on Friday, and then just another 21 hours in 48 hours.
Wow.
And I enjoyed every single minute of it. I can sit here and complain about things like I still don't understand why you have to craft ammo while you're fighting, and there's fucking weird tangents that I go into. But this game is a studio that understands what. So Guerrilla took what they heard from the fans that was good in Horizon Zero Dawn, and they fucking flipped it to 1,000. People like the mechs, so they're like, okay, cool, we'll give you double the amount of fucking... so all of the mechs, all of the enemies that you fought in the first game came back, plus 17 new types. It's ridiculous. Wow. Then you have subtypes under there. So also, you're not fighting the same. There's Apex versions of them, which are like hyper-aggressive, crazy stuff. The AI of the game, this is stuff that I didn't get to see on the stream. There's so much... things built into this game now. Human AI that you fight understand traps. So if you try to ambush them, they'll come in and they'll shoot the traps out and stuff to like get you out. Like there's so many things that they did right with this game that it's still, after 30 hours into it, I still walk into a piece of combat or a set piece in the game and it just blows my mind. The story is kind of a little weird. I really liked certain parts of Horizon Zero Dawn story, and certain parts were kind of like, And this game went exactly the same way. But it's almost as if Guerrilla knew that people play the game, yeah, sure, for the story, but they really play it for the combat loop. They really play it because it's like fucking Dino Riders when you were a kid, and these dinosaurs are crazy, and they got like lasers coming out their butts, and it's just crazy. And so they just took everything, the weapon crafting, the different, the first game had, different biomes. This game has that, plus then the fact that you actually now can go into the ocean and you can swim, and there's specific enemies that are just under there. So I'm going into a lot of detail, but the point that I'm trying to make is that this is a game that understands what it is. It's very, very sure of itself. It knows what it does well. And so they said, you know what? Let's not try and reinvent the wheel. Let's not try and change too many things. Like, let's take the shit that people like, let's run with it, and let's give them another like 200 hours of that. And that's what this game is. So if you're a fan of the original and you have for some reason, you're sitting on the fence going like, I don't know if I should buy this, go fucking get it. Go get it, because I guarantee you everything that you liked about the first game is here in this game, plus some fucking spades heaped on top of it. And if you're a person like yourself, for instance, who is not necessarily someone that was nearly as enraptured by Horizon Zero Dawn as I was, but now having seen some footage and thinking like, maybe this is something that I'd like, I can tell you that whatever you're seeing and you're liking is 5 times better to actually play yourself. The game's combat loop is ridiculous. The animations are great. And guys, here's the thing, straight up. You cannot understand the beauty of this game by watching me play it on fucking YouTube on a stream. That's being encrypted. The bitrate is shit. The frames are like being squashed. YouTube is compressing it, everything like that. You're not getting the audio, all of that. Go play this thing on a TV and see real next gen. That's all I'm saying. That's ridiculous.
That's a great thing to put out to people, because like when I've been playing a lot of time playing King of Fighters 15, and when I play it, I always go back and I watch matches back based on when I record them or when I stream them, because I can see player tendencies. I can dissect my own tendencies.
That's good to learn lessons, right? I mean,
to learn lessons, break bad habits. But the amount of compression, like just from the stream, that game is gorgeous. King of Fighters 15. It's freaking gorgeous. I can only imagine seeing Horizon like with my own eyes. I had a blast watching you play it. It's a game that did not capture me the first one. It was a weird time when it came out. You actually challenged me. You called me on my bullshit that I actually not had played it. I went back and looked at my game count, and I didn't even make it 2 hours into the game. So I did not definitely give it its breadth and width to enjoy the game. But I had a blast watching you play it on stream for the majority of the time. I did miss out on just the very beginning. I didn't know. I saw that there was a catch up. Like, here's what happened in game 1. Was it in depth? Was
like
it, or did
ridiculous, like 10, 12 minutes cinematic? No, I watched the whole thing on stream. But
is that adequate for someone like me coming into the franchise?
Yes, I think so, because it even captures the expansion. So there was an expansion to the original game, which added on like another 20 to 25 hours, a whole new biome, like 7 new enemies, new weapons, all of that. It even captures that. Look, the thing is, the game has a lot of these like member berry moments where you run into a person that's from the first game, and Aloy goes, "Oh, hey, blah 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 blah," but they write it in such a way that it includes those, like it gives you like this is why I know this person or something like that. It
still gives you a little bit of an explainer. So, all right, that's very good.
In many ways, this game almost has too much of that, because a lot of the times, like when you encounter a story point, you'll get a cinematic, which is not really skippable, right? I mean, it's a cinematic you watch, and then immediately after that, sometimes you go into like a dialogue with this person, and then that dialogue has multiple trees and stuff that you can just go like, "Hey bro, it's good to see you, cool, I gotta go," and you can just go. Or you can now spend some time and say, "Hey, so what happened to you after the last time I saw you at blah," and then it fills you up on that. So there's a natural catch-up mechanic there that you can start of like, remind yourself of that. But yeah, I still think it's worth it to play, especially the fact that Horizon Zero Dawn is on PC and it's still as beautiful as ever, everything like that. It's just the thing is, you're gonna if I tell you now to go play Zero Dawn and then play Forbidden West, you're gonna have fatigue, because Zero Dawn is a 60-hour game easily.
That was my concern. If I tried to back them, I would get burned out. Being in that one thing too long. So that's why I was like kind of curious about like just jumping straight into this. But so something about the game, is it I know it's an open world-ish game, but is it like open world with a million side quests all over the place, or is it open world for the sake of crafting, farming, getting weapons and experience, and then the story's kind of like driving you somewhere like linearly? I mean, describe it for me.
It's both. So the thing is, the game has, of course, Aloy has levels, and these levels determine the skill points you can get. The game has 6 skill trees, and if you get one, you get 1 skill point per level, and you get 2 on milestone levels like 5, 10, 15, 20. And so the point is, to unlock all 6 skill trees all the way would require you to get above level 100 with your character. So just to give you an idea now, I've got 30 hours in the game. I'm level 21. So to supplement yourself with skill points, you do side content. Now, this side content is there's a wide swath of it. You'll run into people that are like a syndicate that are basically selling black market parts, and they'll give you a list of shit and say, when you kill a mech, get me the antenna of that and bring it back. And so you actually then have to hunt specific parts of mechs and do that. Then you get the standard side quest stuff like battle arenas. There's a fucking card game, like a tabletop card game thing baked into this game that I played for about an hour on stream, and it frustrated me a lot at the beginning because it was so many systems baked into this thing. And then on Saturday, when I put some time into it, I ended up like doing like 5 hours of this shit, and you get no levels out of it, nothing. There was no intrinsic benefit for me to sit and play this for 5 hours. I just did because it was fun. It was like playing Magic the Gathering with little mech pieces. So it's there's a lot of, and you don't have to do any of this. The main quests in the game are in a way they're level bound, so you can out level content, right? But the point is, you could probably, I would say you could probably wrap this game up if you're just going story and you farm when you need to because you need the materials or you need a better weapon or something like that. You could probably wrap this up in 35 to 40 hours. I think. That's not me based it on any scientific information. I didn't do research. I think. But the reality is, you can settle somewhere between that and like where I'm probably going to end up which is like 200 fucking hours. So
to me, that's the sweet spot. 20 to 30 hours of concentrated good stuff.
Like a sexy 20 hours is ridiculous, dude. Like a strong 20 hours is
because if you could fill a 20-hour spot and it's strong, that just tells you how much you can expand out to like what you're talking about, like a 200. Because if you can't get to 20, you're usually stuck at like a balls to the wall 10. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like hitting that 20 to 30 sweet spot of just great storytelling makes you love the world enough that you're going to want to go and do everything else. I found that with Red Dead Redemption. I found that with Ghost of Tsushima. I find that in worlds like that where you hit that number, you don't want the ride to end, so
correct.
You'll go
you're almost like delaying it. You're almost like delaying it, so you go live in the world. And that's that. It's something that you hammer on a lot. Emergent gameplay, right? And this game. So the reason why we like worlds like Red Dead Redemption 2's world is you'll be riding on horseback and you suddenly come across two guys that are gunfighting across a hill with each other. One guy stole the other guy's fucking knapsack, and now they're just fighting out. And at that moment, you can be like, do I go with thief guy? Do I just murder them both and take their shit? Whatever. But that's a completely random emergent gameplay situation. This game has this as well, but it's on another level because the point is you have tribes in the game who are not friends with each other, so these tribes will fight. Then every once in a while these tribes will fight, and a fucking a thunderjaw will just come walking in like, oh hey humans, cool, let me eat. And then
I love that.
I recorded footage which I will be putting in a video of like a 4-way fucking like grand melee between herbivore monsters and predators that were hunting them, and then a group of hunters riding on mechs came in to hunt them because they wanted their parts. And then like some random dudes were picking herbs there, and they also got into the brawl. And I just stood on the hill, crouched in bushes, just watching this shit, like watching one team tear the other one apart, everything. And I let the whole thing play out. And there was a clear winner, and they rolled out, and there was all this like shit debris lying, and I just walked in and looted everything and then left. I didn't partake at all. It was ridiculous.
That's awesome. Can you pick those herbs for me again, please? I'm gonna make a gif
picking
of that.
Herbs. Picking herbs. No, it's. I know it's coming across as if I just met this game and I'm enamored by it, and I hope it calls me and I hope it texts me later. And that's okay. I'm okay with coming across like I have a huge crush on it because it's that good. I am a deeply jaded gamer. Where I rather most often will look at something and go, why did they put this in? Are they trying to like trick me with fake memories? Are they like member berries? Are they like, I'm a deeply jaded person. And this game has me, you saw it on stream where I sat there with like a fat shit eating grin on my face with just watching it. And that to me gets a winner every time.
But you're analytical. Like you will point it out. Like you genuinely like playing Lost Ark. But you will point out the things that you have issues with. You're not just going to be, fanboying out for it.
You have to be critical of the things you love. You have to. Otherwise, you don't love them.
That's right.
Otherwise, you're just infatuated. Love means seeing the good and the bad. It means seeing the things that are wrong, but willing to look past them because you know it's giving you something. It's making something, and that's the point, really.
Yeah. So I think when you talk about it the way that you talk about it with the fervor that you have, and someone like me who did not give it the time of day, I actually want to check it out, which is surprising for me because I rarely ever go back. I rarely ever go back when I kind of make unfortunately, a snap judgment on something. But
okay, I wanna make you a proposition on stream here right now.
Fuck.
Okay. And I know the timing is kind of awkward, so we're not gonna put a time gate to it because yes, we have Destiny coming out tomorrow and we have Elden Ring, and that's definitely gonna take a priority. But I want to make here in episode 5 of Separated at Birth, I want to say to you, without telling me that you're doing it, go and play this game. Right? Go and play it. Put the time in. Give it at least. Promise me you'll give it 5 hours. I know it sounds like a lot, but give it 5 hours to see if it like grabs you, right?
I'm gonna check it out.
And then I want you to come back. Let's give it an episode or 2, and I want you to come back to me and the audience and tell me. Not for some fucking weird reason of like, I was right, or the game is that good or anything like that. But just to show that sometimes, like, even if you're not a fan of the original, even if you're a fan of that doesn't mean that it's gated from you and that you can't be a fan of more of that, because I think that's very important. A lot of the times we see a number behind a game, and I say this because it was very interesting when they spoke to one of the lead designers of Horizon. They said, why didn't you guys call it Horizon 2? And he said, well, because I think it's important for the story that we mentioned where the character's going, but also because we want people to feel included. We don't want to add a number behind our game and then make them go, well, shit, I didn't play 1, so I guess I can't play 2. And that's the thing.
That's a Sony call. They did that with Santa Monica with God of War 2018. I think it's brilliant. I absolutely believe that it makes the audience feel like, okay, I don't have to do a backlog. I can jump in right here. And that's the vibe I'm getting with this game, with everything that you said, with the catch-up cinematic, with the introduction of characters as you meet them out in the world, where they kind of establish the backstory, they show and tell, and it brings a viewer in. I think it's a great approach. I'm interested in the game. It's not a game that had any interest in me, despite the good graphics. Sometimes it looks like Eloy's got like extra key lights on her, and then some sub characters don't. Just you get a little bit of like
getting choked by a fucking hair and shit. Like, it's weird though. Like, her hair's got a life of its own. Like, I keep thinking the hair's gonna get off her head and walk away because it's kind of like a spider. But 100%. But
when a game is big is the memes, right? Sure. And there are Aloy like reaction memes for everything, everywhere. The heart, like on my Twitter timeline, it's just like Aloy reacts to fucking putting up the ass. I don't know. It's just like there's a million of them.
This game has the most robust, crazy photo mode you will ever see in your life, dude. Like, you can literally, in the photo mode, you can individually alter, like, one eyebrow up, the other one, like, it's nuts what you can do. And then the thing is, as you play the story mode of the game, you unlock stuff that you can put on Aloy when she's in photo mode. Like, there's people running around now that look like Aloy as Kratos, because you can have the line down the face and you can have like a shaved head, and like, it's nuts. So it's the fact when you realize that these guys probably spent like weeks, if not months, programming just the fucking photo mode of this game is
the game
nuts.
Looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
the game looks gorgeous. A game with an amazing photo mode. Which I have to now put up against this game that you've been talking about for the last 15 minutes or so, is Cyberpunk 2077 patch 1.5. This photo mode in this game is phenomenal. Like, you can make V do so much stuff. But they've put so much work into this 1.5 patch that I don't know. Is it grabbing people? It's something you played the original game on PC.
I did.
You picked it up and you put it down. I've never heard you have any whiff of wanting to come back to this world. It was a world that I loved so much. I got it on GOG. I love CD Projekt Red. It is one of my favorite studios ever. I have every possible playthrough of the game completed. All of the alternate endings to include.
So all in all, how many hours are we talking here? If you had to guess.
over 200, like a lot.
Holy shit,
Like
bro.
a lot. I have every single. I even did the V suicide mission with Johnny Silverhand, where you have one attempt at doing it, and if you fail, you don't get it again. So I was able to complete that, and that's based on all these key decisions that you make throughout the game with a secret ending. I love the world. I really fell in love with characters like Pan Am, and like. I'm just so excited to see the numbers. The sales numbers are doing really well. A lot of people are jumping back into the world. I was curious to our audience and to you, did it even cross your mind? Is it anything that grabbed your attention? Is it enough for this studio to have a redemption story? Or do you think so much damage was done with the initial launch of Cyberpunk 2077? Because to me, it's just like it caught a massive heat wave. It became the trendy thing to do to slate this game, to not even play it, but to just join into the memes.
Well, that's the thing. That's exactly like you said. It's the problem comes when people. This is the echo chamber, right? When people like it's cool to hate on something, and then you have all these videos coming out. Like Battlefield 2042 went through that now as well. And are currently still going through it, and some might say deservedly so. But the point is that there's a certain time when the memes become the reality, and Cyberpunk, I can say, I had 0 bugs when I played it. I just stopped playing it. I didn't stop playing it because it crashed to desktop. I didn't stop playing it because my fucking mono wire, got stuck in someone's ass. I just stopped playing it because it just wasn't like I played it very like the way that I usually play RPGs is I grind the fuck out of them. So I did side content and I just farmed guys and everything like that. And I found, myself being like double the level of the content that I was doing, and I kind of just lost interest. But I did that to myself. That game didn't drive me away. It did everything right. It had very interesting characters. It had a compelling story. It had a great soundtrack. It was in a universe.
Soundtrack's great.
The soundtrack's fucking phenomenal. It was in a universe that I thoroughly enjoy, and I, for the life of me, I enjoyed those memes. I enjoyed, people, the headless fucking people walking around and weird shit that was happening, and like. I enjoyed those, but I could, for the life of me, not replicate that. And this is often like a thing with me, but it's also gotten me to thinking that shit isn't always as bad as people make it out to be. Because I had the same thing with Outriders, for instance, is another good example. Outriders was very into hate Outriders for a while. And the point was that I, for the life of me, could not replicate any of these issues. And that was another game that I played to death, that I couldn't replicate all of these issues that people were having with it. Does it mean that those people were lying? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like that's gotta be like a thing though, where one person will complain about something and maybe like 2 or 3 people will be like, yeah, man, like that shit. And it doesn't translate to me into so you asked an important question. Does the studio deserve a redemption arc? Of course they do, especially knowing the studio that it is, very dear to my heart. So of course they do. And hopefully they've learned some lessons from this, but also you gotta sometimes wonder like how much of this is actually their fault. This game was hyped to death. Like this thing had to be the second coming of Christ to even just hit some of those notes.
Yeah,
so,
it made its money and then some just in pre-orders. Like it's 6 months before the initial launch of the game, they had already sold 1 million units. So that immense pressure from the shareholders to say, get it out now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean,
really,
Rome, they did
really
last gen. They did last gen dirty. Like the game should have never launched on last gen. Like it's also like they
make PC games, bro. They do not make console games.
Yes.
All of the Witcher games, all of them. The Witcher 1 only on PC. Witcher 2, they had to make an enhanced edition later to get it on console. And Witcher 3 was a simul release, but it was infinitely better on PC.
And still continues to be this day.
And it still continues to be this day. And they released so many definitive editions just to slowly upgrade the console version to be on par with the PC version. They make PC games, man. They're a PC developer. They should have just focused on that. But they got so popular, they didn't want to cut their audience. They wanted to get it out to as many people as possible. Sure. I understand that. I had one bug that I thought was a feature, not a bug. If I hit high speeds in my car, my character would T-pose out of the top of the car and his penis would flop out in the wind. And it was just...
Oh, dude, yeah, he was just doing that. That was just your guy. Like, that's how he drives a fucking soft top, bro. Like, that's just how it goes, dude. I like the feel of the wind in my hair and balls. Like, that's the gist of it. Yeah. No.
My V was a freak, baby, and I like it that way. But I love the game. I'm debating. The thing that sucks is now with 1.5 and with all the little things and stuff like that, I almost wish I could just purge my memory of all.
Yeah, because you kind of want to do a brand new replay.
I just want to do a brand new replay of it and go through it again. And given the schedule that I have with games coming up, I have no time for it. But it's something that I'm definitely interested in. I'm curious about the audience. If patch 1.5 is something that you're interested in, please let us know in the comments of this video. I'm curious about that. I'm always standing this game, and I'm looking for people who joined the Cyberpunk army. I will never give up on our corpo overlords. I want all the hentai BDs like put into my brain. You know, I want to live that life one day. I'm a VR connoisseur, and that's the life I want to live. So take me back to that world. But moving on from that, I had a question for you.
Okay.
I am a creature of ritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go to bed. I listen to a podcast. I need information pumping into my ear, right? But when I wake up, I have an order of information that I go to. I wanted to know, what is your Google order? What are the websites that you go to first? What do you hit? And do you have like an order, or is it kind of chaotic? Or do you just like, I wake up, I check this website, I go down, I go my Twitter timeline, I do what? I think this is a fascinating thing. And also, like, a lot of people, like, there could be a website that they don't know, like, to get information from and stuff like that. So I think it's a good thing, like, to maybe somebody in the audience could put some sites that they could go to, recommend them to us. But like, I want to know your search order. How do you consume information when you start your day?
So this is a super interesting question, and the reason is that you've come to know me as a
you live in the dark spot of Reddit, baby, and I don't frequent that area.
yeah, but I mean, I certainly don't go. It's almost like I go to Reddit to remind myself, you know, how not to be. You know, like it's like a reminder of how not to be a bad person. And by the way, if anybody here is a fucking Reddit fan, I'm not slating you. Fucking calm down. Like the thing is that I'm very habitual. And so this is an interesting question for me, because the thing is, like for me, the structure of things and lists and stuff like that is very much like how my brain works. And so first of all, I consume an insane amount of YouTube, just YouTube. So I have certain channels on YouTube, but more specifically, the thing is, I just pop YouTube open and I just look at, you know, what's in my first, let's say, 3 scrolls, and if there's something, and out of that, I'll usually harvest about maybe 5 to 7 videos that I'll just queue up, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm good to go. And I just push them to my fucking phone if I'm leaving the house or something, because it gives me shit to watch on the metro. Then in terms of like websites and stuff, yes, I do Reddit, but the point is, Reddit, I only frequent certain subreddits. So I'll frequent the subreddits of the games that I'm enjoying. So right now, of course, I check out Lost Ark. I'm always checking out Outriders because, my God. But you know, I'll check out some of those. But then the other thing is, I try to check some of the what is a good way of putting it? I check like the websites, like I won't go to like an IGN or something like that, but I go to websites that think that they're superior to all of these and like slate them all. And like, I look through that content. So a good one, for instance, is Reset Era. I don't know if you know them.
I know Reset Era. I don't go to Reset Era, but I hear about like the elitism of Reset Era.
Yeah, Reset Era is you can only spend so much time on it before you're like, Like this is why the internet should not have been invented. But however, there are diligent posters on Reset Era that often push me in the direction of content that I want, and that's the reason why. So again, it's like that whole good with the bad type of situation. But yeah, I do that, and then I've cultivated like when you pop your phone open and you get like Google Suggests. I've cultivated a fucking ridiculous amount of Google Suggests from that. So I get a lot of stuff like from shooters and things like that. And that's basically it. That's how I consume. That's the gist of it.
I try. This is live, so I try so hard to cultivate my Google like feed to give me the stories that I want. But it always ends up anime, titties, and sports, and it's
that's
just
because that's because you browse to those things while you're on the
but
fucking toilet.
I say less. That's it. No, that's it. You cracked it. It's
Yeah.
what I look at when I'm on the toilet.
Yes, you've had a couple of drinks with me on stream, and you go take that last shit for the night before you retire, and you're just like fucking scrolling through all that anime big titties. It is what it is. It's that coupled with the fact that Google is listening. So we just said anime big titties 3 times, and Google's like, this guy wants anime big titties. Let me hook him up.
Oh my gosh!
It is an issue, but I find. If I had to say the secret source for me is probably YouTube, and it's not because that's the platform that I'm on and I fucking record videos on there, but I think that YouTube is ridiculous with the algorithm. Like once you get it down pat and you get it to stop serving you like stupid shit, then it's actually quite interesting. What can come up, and my stuff is like a mixture of MMA, MMA. Not a lot of anime. That's the thing. But I would go searching for it a lot. But a lot of MMA, a lot of movies, a lot of music, and then usually interspersed with like the creators that I like, and then like the reviewers that I also enjoy watching. And that's pretty much it. The last part that I want to say here, and this is the thing as a content creator, and you yourself are one as well. The thing is, you reach this kind of point where I also watch what I watch now. Like I'm careful to watch certain things because of how it can artistically influence me. And it's something that I'm very like self-conscious about, that if I watch, and this is the most honest that I can be about this, is if I watch the way that somebody critiques something or they review something or they discuss something and I find it incredibly compelling, I can't help but have it almost like rewire my DNA in a way where I'm like, man, that really like I like the format of like, and I like how that works, and I think it becomes like, life imitating art, or art imitating art, or whatever the fuck. But I'm very cognizant of that. So I almost do this thing, like if I find something I really like, then I actually watch less of it because I don't want it to spoil me. So, but I mean, I went off on a tangent now. What's your process? Help me.
No,
and don't say anime big titties because we know that's on there. Let's go.
No. It's very it's very calculated for me. Like I wake up, I go to a website. It's called Crossing Broad. It is a local Philadelphia, what's happening in Philadelphia website, and it just tells me what's going on like locally. So that's the first thing I do. It's a 3 minutes. I could just quickly.
But what does it cover though? Is it just like happenings in Philadelphia, a little bit of foodie stuff, a little bit of music stuff, a little bit of culture stuff?
Sports, culture, food, all that.
Okay, so almost like a digital newspaper, basically.
Yeah. I guess I am an old man reading the newspaper. But yeah, I wake up, I hit Crossing Broad first, 3 minutes. I can quickly just go, this is what's happening in my city, and I can move on from that. Then I immediately go to like, I'll check what are the rumors in movies, music, and pro wrestling. Like that's just me. So like I'll hit those sites, then I'll hit those websites, right? And this is all still while I'm like wiping the sleep from my eyes, quickly hit these. And then for me, it's heavy YouTube. Like I got into YouTube just as my primary source of entertainment watching. Like I want to say 10 years ago. Like I cut the cord. Like I stopped watching any TV. I only ever watched series or movies. And then it was all day YouTube, like very specific. And it's funny because like it all depends on what platform you're watching. If you're on the TV, you can only get so many refreshes or like recommendations. If you're on the mobile, you can refresh more.
Sure.
And then yeah, but I live in like movie reviews, television reviews, movie and television like rumor world, and I live into that space, and then gaming news, gaming rumors, and then I'll go take that. Then I'll go to my sites that I like while I'm watching it. So I go to like a Polygon or like a Push Square, or I
Push
rarely go to
Push Square is great.
I love Push Square. I used to
give
go
a
to
shout out to that for sure. Yeah.
I used to go to Kotaku a lot, but then they got so political, it just became unreadable.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. We had a, just as a side tangent here. Me and you had a discussion when we originally talked about the things that we would cover in this podcast, and both of us unanimously said we have no real interest to jump into world issues, politics, religion, like almost like the taboos. But the point is just that those topics, and I fucking hated the fact that Kotaku, it's not only that, but they went with this morality fucking spin on stuff, and most recently, and it's just, I don't want that stuff. It's almost like in a way, and this is, what, there's some people that enjoy it and fucking power to them, but I don't want that real world shit creeping into my hobbies.
Yeah.
Like, I want a game to be about a game.
There are politics in everything, right?
Yes.
There is the artist's interpretation of the world that they grew up in, that they were raised in, or what they've seen, and then they try to present that in whatever medium they choose: art,
Sure.
movies, games, whatever. But you have to let the art speak for itself, because everyone will pull from that differently from their own experiences, from their own forms of expression, and to have it 24 hours it be politically, you didn't do this good enough, or you didn't express this good enough,
and signaling and fucking
and
like
it's exhausting. I go to this medium for escapism, and then to have a site that used to be so good with writing op-eds about the gaming industry and gaming, and to go so far into the political spectrum, it just ruined that escapism for me. So it's a site that I used to go to a lot, I can't go to anymore. And I'm sensitive to a lot of the issues. I try to have an open mind to a lot of stuff, but it's all around us all the time. We're all information people that have information overload.
Sure.
I need a break. Yeah. I need to like fire up and just see some, like, play some games and kill some monsters. Like, I can't have it 24/7. And if there's a, I go back to this show all the time. Arcane had a message.
Yeah.
It didn't beat you over the head with it.
It didn't fucking beat you over the head and go, do you get it? Do you get it? Yeah. I mean, I put it akin to I explained this the other day to my wife, and I said to her that, like, the issue with, again, I don't mean to like beat a fucking, like a flog a dead horse here, but like Kotaku, the thing is, there's two ways that you can come from like a past of hardship and all of that stuff, like you just alluded to now, right? And then that shapes your message. Take a rapper like Eminem, right? Guy grew up fucking hard, everything like that, and that has definitely defined him as an artist, right? And the way that he sings, right? And his lyrics and all of that. But he doesn't do it in such a way where he goes, hey, if you didn't grow up in Detroit with me and you didn't grow up hard, then fuck you, you're a piece of shit. Like, he doesn't make you feel bad for not having his way of thinking. He just tells you, this is how I think about shit. And you can either like it or you can't, that's your thing, but this is my message. And this is where problems like what Kotaku does is wrong, in my opinion, because what they do is they go, if you don't think like we do, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And it's not, I'm picking on Kotaku now, there's a lot of this out there, but that's the problem that happens when you bring things like morality, race, religion, and all of that in, is if you don't agree with us, you're wrong. Yeah,
and to me, I've always believed that entertainment is a marketplace, right? It's industry, count the receipts, okay? If the public has an opinion on your message or what you're putting out there, the receipts will show. All right. That's why it's I don't believe in the term get woke, go broke. I don't believe in it. but people say, and it happens, is because if you're too heavy-handed and you don't have good storytelling and writing, and you try to just have an agenda, it's not going to sell.
Then all that you are is an agenda.
Stupid. People aren't stupid. People are smart.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can almost then take like this whole thing where you go, like the fact that that they do it this way almost then means that they think that you're stupid.
Right.
And then that upsets me, because then it's like a thing of like, okay, you actually not only like telling me the way that I should think, but you're also somehow alluding to the fact that I'm not intelligent. So
that's right. I hate that. I hate insulting people's intelligence. I believe groups of people are dumb, but a person, if you give them every opportunity, they will surprise you. They have a story to tell. They are smart. They are also separated at birth, because we all are separated at birth. And when you can come, sit down on a Monday, hang out with us on this podcast, talk about the things we like, talk about the things we don't like, we can all come together and have a voice. We know that you take an hour or sometimes 2 out of your day to come hang out with us. We appreciate that greatly. This has been episode 5 of the Separated at Birth podcast. I love hanging out with my co-host, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, the full measure, my buddy, and all of you for hanging out with us. Take us home, my good buddy, and tell the people where you are, where can they find you, and what do you got cooking up next?
So I can only repeat everything that my brother from another mother said. It is an absolute pleasure hanging out with you guys every Monday, and obviously with Roman as well. We get to discuss the things that are on our minds, and share them with you guys. Also pick each other's brains, and mostly just hang out, because that's what this is. It's a fun hangout. So absolutely appreciate all of the time that you spent with us in this. 100% open to suggestions of how we can alter the show and things that we can do. That's why we added the mail address in the description. So jump into that. It's not just for questions to us or anything like that. Tell us what you'd like in the show, things that you'd like us to discuss, things that you'd like us to focus on more, and tangents. That's a terrible word. That you'd like us to go on, because in the end we are all separated both. It's not just me and Roman, but all of us here, and that's really the thing. Personally, for me, hell of a lot going on this week. We got the usual streams, but of course Elden Ring on Friday. I believe both myself and Roman will be streaming it. We have that fucking wager that's going on.
The challenge is on.
And so we want you guys to keep track of that, and we'll of course be communicating it, and there'll be videos, there'll be streams, all of that. But the race is on to see who can finish the game in the shortest amount of time, time played, basically. So it is going to be very interesting. But other than that, we will be back the same time, the same place next week. Can't wait to see you. And it's just really important that you have a fantastic week and fucking take care of yourself. See you soon. Fucking cheers.